And sometimes I think when we are introducing equanimity, it's as if I can hear drum rolls, like the big E. It is the last of the 7 factors of awakening. And it's seen as one of the highest of aspirations, if perhaps not the highest of aspirations and practices. The crown jewel of practice. We've been focusing the last couple of months on calm and concentration. And it sinks in, sometimes slowly, that equanimity is the result of a calm and concentrated mind. How could it be otherwise? Equanimity is the capacity to be with life as it is. It's not complacency, and it's not resignation, and it's certainly not indifference. In fact, it's the opposite. It is an engagement with life and this world. And it's not so easy. I think about what Susan said last week around equanimity being challenging because it stretches the edges of our circle of what we think is acceptable. In Buddhist thinking, equanimity includes having an equal attitude toward all beings without the boundaries that we habitually draw between friends, strangers, and the so-called enemy, the difficult people. A lot of you were here when we talked about the worldly winds, the 8 worldly winds: gain and loss, praise, blame, fame and disgrace, pleasure and pain. And essentially, all of these winds represent the changing experiences of life that bring us happiness, that bring us joy, and also bring us suffering. And the key, or the aspiration in practice, is maintaining equanimity, balance in the face of these fluctuations. Sometimes the winds can be very subtle, just a subtle breeze carrying distaste, or squalls of grief. We can't control the way the winds blow, but we adjust our sails. We adjust our sails continuously to find balance. Most of us, know the serenity prayer that you will hear in 12-step meetings throughout the whole world. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. We can hear the equanimity in this. We can hear all the factors of awakening in this prayer. The mindfulness, the investigation, can I, can't I, should I, shouldn't I? the energy, the determination, the effort and resolve, and the joy that can come from the experience of equanimity, the joy that can come from right action, and certainly the calm and concentration. All there. Equanimity is accepting life as it is without the craving, I want it more, 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 or the aversion, nope, 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 not that. And that's no small thing. That doesn't just come out of the blue. Equanimity is balance, and it's balance that's born of wisdom. The wisdom to know which ways the winds are blowing. The wisdom to begin to know and trust right response. This takes practice. It takes practice. I'm kind of reviewing a little bit that mindfulness is a cultivator of equanimity. And in our practice, we grow the capacity to be with direct experience out of the story, direct experience. We learn to examine our perceptions, our biases, our fears, our projections, our worries, all that come because of our history, our experiences, our conditioning, our successes, our failures. And we begin to see a little more clearly how they interfere with equanimity. Because attraction and aversions happen at the speed of light. They arise so fast that we often miss them. And they're happening right now. We feel into equanimity by studying the ways that we get caught in our reactivity, and then we get kindly curious about how we meet this entangled reactivity and how might we begin to unbind from it even a little more. We've been exploring the factors of awakening. This is waking up. We name the reactivity, we see it, we feel it, and then we're a little bit out of that pattern. And when we're a little bit out of the pattern, we have a little more freedom, some spaciousness. And maybe it becomes a little, we give a deliberate and heartfelt attention to what might help us ground and settle, help us to regain some balance. So I think that equanimity in sort of its most basic understanding is about letting go of what we can't control. And learning to experience our fears, our frustrations and joys, all of it. And trying eventually to come into some evenness or peace, spaciousness around them. I'm going to close with a little meditation that I heard from Tara Brach, and I shared it a few years ago, and it's just sweet. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And it's entitled The Duck Meditation. Now, we're ready to look at something pretty special. It's a duck. and it's riding the ocean 100 feet beyond the surf as it cuddles in the swells. There's a big heaving in the Atlantic, and he's part of it. He can rest while the Atlantic heaves because he rests in the Atlantic. He probably doesn't know how big the Atlantic is, and neither do you. But he realizes it somewhere, and what does he do? He sits down in it. Duck meditation. He reposes in the immediate as if it were infinite, which it is. We can't stop the waves. We learn to surf them. And we remember that we're part of something larger, like the Atlantic. And when the waves are intense, we want to practice the high art of sending loving kindness and compassion. We want to practice the high art of self-soothing. Because every time we come back to our practice and begin again to attend to our breath, our bodies, hearts, and minds, all of which need something different at any given moment, we're strengthening the muscle of equanimity. We're seeing what is needed to help us stabilize and calm. So the meditative moves, letting go, letting be, and being with. Thank you for listening, and now we get to practice. So take a moment, let yourself find the body. Let it tell you where it might need to stretch and open. Maybe a sway, maybe a little bit of shaking it loose. If tapping is helpful to you. And when you're ready to come into a posture that is comfortable and supported in your time, do you have enough cushion? Do you have enough support? We want the body to be comfortable, supported, and closing the eyes if they're not closed, and that's helpful to you. And perhaps at the very beginning of this practice, remembering that you are here with us, and here we are sitting with you, and feeling the uplift and support of practice in coming together. The goodwill of others. And taking some deeper, slower breaths. letting the breath find its natural rhythm, the rise and fall of each breath. Inviting the body to settle, unwind a little more, relax. If you notice any little graspings or tensions in the body without trying to change it, just allowing some ease, unwinding. And reminding the mind that it too can relax and drop open and spacious like the sky. And thought formations may come and go and pass in and out. For this short practice, we're orienting toward comfort and ease. A posture of relaxed and awake, caring attention. If the mind is drifting or looping, distracted, the perfect opportunity to allow the breath in the body to invite you back to presence. As if this moment has everything you need. As it is. Soften and allow. Receiving this moment. And may all beings everywhere be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may all beings benefit from this practice